So for AMI day work, so for your AMI day 7 work, you have your article and then you have some questions that follow it. I know that sometimes it's helpful if it's read out loud to some kiddos or we do it like a group. Can't really do a group right now. That's obviously impossible. But if you want to read it on your own and do the questions on your own, that's fine. Otherwise, I'll be reading the article here. Nepali climber summits world's 14 highest mountains in record time. Nepali climber Nirmal Pura has the world's 14 highest mountains tattooed across his back, complete with clouds and Tibetan prayer flags. He wanted to mark his commitment to climbing all 14 mountains. Now Pura can make the dizzying claim of being the fastest person to conquer every mountain on Earth over 26,000 feet, or about 5 miles. He has climbed all of them, from Everest in the eastern Himalayan mountains to K2 in Pakistan's Karakoram Mountains. Pura completed his goal in just 6 months and 6 days. Kim Chang-ho held the previous record. Climbing all 14 mountains is the dream of many mountain climbers. Italian climber Reinhold Messner first completed the feat in 1986, taking 16 years to do so. Fewer than 40 climbers have followed in his footsteps. South Korean Kim Chang-ho holds the previous record for speed, taking 7 years, 10 months, and 6 days. Unlike Pura, however, he did not use supplementary bottled oxygen. It has been a grueling but humbling 6 months, and I hope to have proven that anything is possible with some determination, self-belief, and positivity, Pura said. He made this statement after climbing his last mountain, Shishimpangma, in China. When he first told others about his quest to break the record, everyone was laughing at me, Pura said in a recent interview in Kathmandu, Nepal. The 36-year-old kicked off his Project Possible in April with an ascent of Nepal's Mount Annapurna. He moved along the Himalayas to climb 5 others in the mountain range, including Everest. Then he targeted 5 more massive peaks in nearby Pakistan's rugged Karakoram range. He was not alone on Everest, reaching the summit on May 22nd with 320 others. Pura snapped a photo of the crowd of climbers on the world's highest mountain that went viral. Pura began his final push for the remaining 3 peaks in September. The 26,348-foot Shishimpangma, the smallest and final mountain on his list, proved unexpectedly tricky. China had closed off the mountain for the season and only granted Pura a permit after intensive lobbying. Once on the mountain, Pura had to battle with high winds, an avalanche, and even a toothache. The adventurer said he was never fascinated with mountains as a child, when even a pair of flip-flops were a luxury. Pura was born in a village in western Nepal in South Asia. As a teenager, he joined the Gurkhas, a group of Nepalis in the British Army famous for their fearlessness. He later served in the elite special forces as an extreme cold weather warfare expert. Breaks for mountaineering. His love of mountaineering began in 2012. He hiked to the Everest base camp in 2012, climbing to the top of the 20,075-foot Lombuchi Peak. If you are from Nepal, everyone asks you about Everest, so I then used my breaks for mountaineering. The following year, he was back on the mountain. He led a successful Gurkha climbing expedition and was honored as a member of the Order of the British Empire by the Queen of England for his work in high-altitude mountaineering. Later, he swapped his army boots for specialty ice hiking shoes. He quit the military after 16 years of service and borrowed money against his house to raise funds for his high-altitude, high-speed quest. Pura said he hopes his feat will inspire the next generation of Nepali climbers to break his records. Sherpas are Nepalis who often work as guides for foreign mountaineers. Sherpas are the backbone of mountain climbing tourism in Nepal, which makes a great deal of money for the country. However, they do not attract as much attention or awards as international climbers. More than trophy hunting. As a Nepali, I hope my climb puts a spotlight on the talented climbers here, he said. Mountaineers around the world have encouraged Pura, including Messner, who made his 14 ascents without the aid of supplementary bottled oxygen. The two climbers met at Mount Nanga Parbat Base Camp in Pakistan. In 2014, he climbed his first 5-mile high mountain, Dulangari, in western Nepal. In 2016, he had a break from the Army after being stationed in the war-torn Afghanistan in the Middle East. His time off happened at the same time as climbing season, and so he made his first ascent of Everest. However, some climbers frown upon Sherpa support, bottled oxygen, and helicopters. Pura has used all three in his quest. Pura, though, has earned respect for leaving his path to rescue others even as the clocks ticked. For example, he helped a Malaysian climber on Mount Annapurna. Alan Arnett is a mountaineering blogger. He said what was incredible about Pura was how quickly he recovered between his difficult climbs. Even with the nits around style, overall he is setting a marker that may take decades, if ever, to surpass, he said. Now we're going to answer these questions using the article. So you are going to need to get something to write with and something to write on for this, because you don't have a sheet in front of you provided to you by us yet unless you went to pick up a packet from the school. Number 1, which section of the article best explains why Nirmal Pura tried to break the record? A, the introduction, paragraphs 1 and 2. B, Kim Chang-ho held the previous record. C, breaks for mountaineering. Or D, more than trophy hunting. Read the following sentences from the article. 1. The adventurer said he was never fascinated with the mountain when, as a child, even a pair of flip-flops were a luxury. 2. He was not alone on Everest, reaching the summit on May 22nd with 320 others. 3. If you are from Nepal, everyone asks you about Everest. And 4. Mountaineers around the world have encouraged Pura, including Messner, who made his ascent without the aid of supplementary bottled oxygen. Which two sentences together provide the best evidence to support the claim that mountain climbing in the Himalayas is becoming more popular? A, sentences 1 and 2. B, sentences 1 and 4. C, sentences 2 and 3. Or D, sentences 3 and 4. Which answer choice describes the two central ideas from the article? A, fewer than 40 climbers have ever climbed all 14 of the highest mountains. Pura first started in the elite special forces in the British Army. B, during a break from the Army, Pura climbed his first 5-mile mountain. He used bottled oxygen and helicopters on his climbs. C, there are 14 mountains on Earth that reach over 26,000 feet. 2 of those mountains are Everest and K2. Or D, Pura set the fastest time for climbing the 14 highest mountains. He hopes that his climb inspires others and brings attention to Sherpas. Which statement would be most important to include in the summary of the article? A, Nirmal Pura, a Nepali mountain climber, set the record for the fastest time climbing the 14 highest mountains in the world. B, fewer than 40 people have ever climbed all 14 of the highest mountains in the world. C, Pura began his mission to climb the 14 highest mountains in the world with Mount Annapurna in Nepal. D, other mountain climbers look down on Pura for using supports and bottled oxygen on his climbs. Hope I was helpful. If not, just mute me. It's fine. Bye, y'all.